Today I'm going to go over the differences in several different styles of topwater fishing lures. If you're not familiar with them, here's how you can identify them in the store or online and recognize what their purpose is. I'm Captain Chris Meyer, Central Florida Sight Fishing Charters. I'm a full-time fishing guide down here in Florida, and we can use topwater lures here for a variety of species, huge variety. You can use them in freshwater for bass. You can use them in saltwater for redfish, trout, tarpon, snook, jack crevalle. The list goes on and on. They certainly can get you some of the most exciting fishing bites you've ever had because you get to see that fish explode on the surface. One thing that almost all the topwater baits have in common is they come from the store with 2 or more sets of treble hooks. So a treble hook has 3 hooks on 1 shank. The advantage of this is it gets a lot of hooks in the fish. The disadvantage is it's much harder to de-hook the fish, and it's very easy for one of these sets to get in your hand while the other set is still in the fish. Something I do to make these much safer is immediately before using them, I take pliers, I pinch all these barbs down so that if one of these sets does get into me, I don't have to make a trip to the hospital. It pulls right back out. Another option is, you can see as I've done here, is to remove those treble hooks and replace them with your own hook, either a traditional J-style single hook, or as I've done here, put a circle hook on the back of it. I just have 1 hook on this one because really that's all you need. You fish lots of other lures with 1 hook. We don't need 6, 8, 9 hooks dangling around on our lure. They catch a lot of grass that way. This hook rides up, a lot less grass and a lot safer for me and easier to de-hook the fish. The topwater lures come in 3 major styles. Some of them combine some features of each other. We have 3 major styles. We have lures that have a cupped face, such as these 2 right here. And you know when you see a lure on the shelf or online that has a hollowed out cupped face, it could either be halfway or a full round cup like these are. Those are for topwater, and you jerk this lure across the surface and it spits water as you jerk it. So you call it a chugger, a popper. They spit water. They are meant to make lots of noise if you need them to. They are super easy to use and they catch lots of fish. The second style of lure are these 2. So here we have a Top Dog and a Zara Spook, 2 of the most popular topwater lures. You see these do not have any cupped face. They have like a torpedo shape to them. Some of them have rattles like these, and I believe this one has some too. Yeah, you can see the rattle in it. Some don't have rattles. These lures are designed for you to make them dart side to side on the surface like this. There is a much higher learning curve using this style lure over this one. Learning to make it dart side to side takes a specific retrieve and action with your rod tip and your reel. If you don't get it just right, it doesn't really work. So I have a video on how to do that. You can check that out. The third style, again, most of them are torpedo shaped, but not all, is this kind of lure which has a propeller on the back. So this lure, kind of like the poppers, are meant for you to jerk them and stop it and jerk it and stop it. Instead of the front making the noise, this little propeller in the back makes a little bubble trail and a chugging sound. This particular topwater combined the propeller and the cupped face, so you get action on the front and the back. So even though this one is a torpedo shape, it is not designed when it has a propeller on it for you to dart it side to side. Do you have a favorite topwater lure that you're currently using? Is it a chugger, a popper, propeller, a combination of all those? Let us know in a comment which one you prefer to use the best and has caught you the biggest fish. Here is one of the only soft plastic completely floating topwater lures I've ever used. This is the DOA PT7. It throws a mile and it is completely weedless. So you see all of these topwater lures have hooks that hang down below them. This is rigged like a weedless worm with a hook on top, so I could use this in very thick grass around vegetation where I would never be able to use this other style of topwater lure. With all topwater lures, it's very tempting when you see that initial splash for you to yank back and go to set the hook, and many times you will see these lures come flying back at your face 100 miles an hour because there was a huge splash and the fish actually pushed the lure out of the way with their own wave they created, and they made a splash, but they didn't get it in their mouth. All you see is the big white water splash. You jerk back and this comes back at you or other people in your boat. That is another reason not to have these dangerous treble hooks on there. It's much more safe. When I'm fishing these topwater lures, I want to always give it the crank, then yank hook set, which is what I do on just about everything I fish. When I see that big splash, I start turning the handle. If there was a fish on it, the rod will bend over, then I can set the hook. If there wasn't a fish on it, all it did is move it up here where at least there's a chance that that fish can come and get it again. If you do the big hook set, even if it doesn't fly back in the boat, it flew a long way away from where it was. That fish is not finding it again. Or if you're fishing a school of fish, many times they're fighting over it. If you can keep it right there by turning that handle, you'll be able to hook those fish and not pull it away from them. Lots of the bites I've gotten on topwater, whether it was this Chugger kind, the walk the dog kind, or the Propeller kind, while the lure was not even moving. Many times you'll chug it along, let it sit, and you might let it sit for 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds. You might just barely wiggle it, and that's when you get the bite. So you do not have to always be moving these lures to get bites on them. Lots of bites will come after you've stopped and it is just sitting still. One thing you notice that none of these lures have is they do not have a lip on them that sticks down. Any lure you see that has a lip on it is meant to dive down. As you pull it forward, it will dive. Now there are diver floaters that dive down when you pull them and they wiggle a little bit, you stop and they float back up. There are lures that dive down and stay down. There are lures that sink when you put them in the water and they have a lip. But if you see a bait with a lip, it is not meant to be, and it will not be on the surface all the time when you're using it. Hopefully that cleared up some of the differences in the different types of topwater lures. And if you didn't understand what they were, now you do. Go out, get you one of each, and try them out and see which one you like best, but you will definitely like the bites you get from any one of these topwater lures. If you want to find out more fishing and casting tips, become a subscriber to my channel, and you can find another great casting video that will help you put this exactly where you need to right here.